What's up, gamers? You have TigerChainsaw. Now, before we start this video, I want to ask you guys something. What is something that you are proud of that you did today all by yourself? For me, you guys want to know? I ate an entire pizza all by myself. That's right, I did it. I ate all 12 slices of stuffed crust goodness. Oh, it was delicious. And I'm proud of myself. So that's my accomplishment, but what about you guys? Well, if you are Joakim Sandberg, you developed and created an entire video game all by yourself. In 2018, Joakim Sandberg created Iconoclasts, which would be released on the PS4 and the Vita, and then later on the Switch and the Xbox One. He did everything. Every single thing in this game was made by this man, from the development, the pixels, the soundtrack, everything. Kind of impressive, but probably not as impressive as me eating an entire pizza to myself, but you know, to each their own. Today I'm reviewing Iconoclasts from 2018. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, or if you just haven't yet, go ahead, hit that sub button, because I've got tons of game reviews on this channel, ranging from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, all the way up to the PS5 and the Switch. And I've got lots of indie games just like Iconoclasts. So go ahead, hit that sub button, because it helps me grow and you can catch all of those reviews. All right, there is a ton of ivory in this Iconoclast review. What am I talking about? Let's get started. How many video games do you know that were developed by a single person? Not many, right? At least not modern ones. Well, in 2018, Joakim Sandberg developed the action platformer Iconoclasts and teamed up with Bifrost Entertainment to release the game for the PS4 and the PS Vita. It would later be released for the Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch, but for my playthrough, I did the PS4 version. With one man just developing, composing, and designing the game, how would Iconoclast turn out? Well, there's going to be some space worms and alien birds in this review, but let's get started with the plot. But be warned, spoilers are ahead. Iconoclasts takes a minimalistic approach to its story with very few cutscenes, but enough dialogue between characters to understand, for the most part, the complicated story. You'll be playing as Robin, a cute blonde-headed girl who happens to be a mechanic. During my playthrough, she carried her signature wrench around with her, helping out others as she cranks away at machines for them. The world that Robin lives in has been taken over by a religious cult called One Concern, who worship a mysterious god called Mother. This cult has grown over time and has since made its way into the government. The world runs on a power source called ivory, which is found underground. Think of it as oil. Only mechanics recognized under the rule of the One Concern are now allowed to crank the machines for people that allow ivory to run into their homes and power all their sources. Robin, being the helpful person that she is, decides to secretly help out her neighbors against the orders of the One Concern. Well, they get wind of this and label her as a criminal. Robin is forced to become a criminal on the run, avoiding the government and the One Concern as they hunt for her and her allies. The One Concern runs on this ivory power source, and it begins to experiment with it, including pumping it into humans, which results in giving them some supernatural abilities and powers. The ones who do survive these experiments become agents for the One Concern and hunt Robin as she runs from town to town. Now, there is another religious cult called the Issy, and they clash with the One Concern over the power source of the ivory, and with each cult using the ivory, the world begins to crumble and dry out. The world is in desperate need of a hero, and that's where Robin comes in. Her father was murdered by the One Concern, and her brother works for them as a chemist against his will, I think. Robin helps out her brother Elro and his family, but because she is an unregistered mechanic, the One Concern condemns Elro's family to death. Tee-hee, whoops, she's just a girl. Anyway, Robin finds herself in various dangerous situations and fights out of them with the help of some of her allies. In the end, she finds herself in the City 1, which is where the cult all started and where Mother lives. With the help from her friend Mina, mother is killed. But after going on a few other missions that are quite ridiculous, Robin finds herself fighting a giant star worm that has come to destroy the planet. During this battle, it's revealed that the worm is actually a robot controlled by a giant bird. Robin then kills the bird and the robotic worm, causing the ivory to become injected into the planet, restoring life to it. Now, I skipped over a lot of things that do happen in the story because it can get kinda hard to follow. But I'll say this, the giant worm turning out to be a robot being controlled by a giant bird is as stupid as it sounds. I was really disappointed in that being the finale, but the rest of the game's story was at least easier to follow, and it wasn't so ridiculous. But the conclusion of Iconoclasts really is dumb. The first thing that really sucked me in was the beautiful and colorful graphics and all of the pixel art of Iconoclasts. Just with the nature of the game, I was hooked. The enemies and the creatures are unique and each have different means of defeating them. You'll die a few times and you'll probably get lost in a few mazes or not know what to do next, as I did, but at least the game looks great when looking at it. I cannot emphasize enough how amazing this game looked during my playthrough. Getting to the controls, Robin controls great as I navigated her through various levels and terrains during my playthrough. The game is fair with its combat. When you die, it's your fault for being too reckless or charging at the enemies before knowing how to defeat them. Some enemies will need different weapons to defeat them, some will need to be hit multiple times, and some are best avoided. It's up to you to decide how you play through the levels. Now, during your playthrough, you can upgrade certain abilities and weapons to make it easier for Robin. Some of them are required, while others you can craft to your style of play. Boss fights were great during my playthrough, each of them being challenging and fun. Even the final boss was fun to defeat. I mean, it was completely stupid with how the story unfolded, but the battle at least was satisfying. There's a small cast of characters in Iconoclasts, but other than Robin, I really didn't care for them. They were unique in their own ways, but I prefer the strong silent type like Robin. Even though she bounced around all cute on the screen, she's a total badass. If you ignore the story and just play the game, it's even better, and that's really what I encourage you to do. Don't try and keep up with the story, just get hooked into the gameplay. Now back to the gameplay, you will be doing a lot of exploring. Think of this almost as a Metroidvania type game. You'll be doing a lot of hacking and slashing. You can upgrade the weapons for Robin, and you'll need to do so because it gets tougher the further that you go. Now, while some portions were tough, I felt that the difficulty never really spiked and that Iconoclasts leans more on the easier side, but that's not a bad thing. Overall, Iconoclasts is one of the most gorgeous games that I've played in a very long time when it comes to the 16-bit graphics. Let me know what graphics these are. I think they're 16-bit, but I could totally be wrong. Anyway, the graphics are gorgeous, the combat is really fluid, and you do have to learn your enemy patterns. Those are all signs of great gameplay, and Iconoclasts had that. It's incredible what one person can do when they put their focus on their dreams. Like eating an entire pizza to themselves. Yes, I will take a bow for that. But I guess I'll also applaud Joakim Sandberg for creating Iconoclasts, as it's beautiful on the PS4, even if the game isn't perfect overall. The story is quite dumb, but the gameplay is where it's at. This is an excellent game if you want to kill a weekend with. Lots of satisfying combat, lots of exploration, and it features some great boss fights, which is why Iconoclast scores a 7.2 out of 10, making this a good game. Unfortunately, I don't think that there's any physical copies of this game, at least not for the PS4, but I know I see this all the time digitally. So go ahead and check it out if you're interested. I'm sure it's on the cheaper side now. Gamers, that was my review of Iconoclasts from 2018 on the PS4. What a job Joakim did creating this game. Truly, it is impressive from start to finish. Even if I think that the story is kind of lame, the graphics, the gameplay, the soundtrack, all of it he did, and color me impressed because he pulled it off beautifully. Gamers, I want to hear from you guys though now. You know my thoughts on Iconoclasts, but have you guys played this game? If so, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or if you haven't played it, do you want to play it now? Are you eager to take on the star worm and the alien bird that you will fight at the end? It's very interesting. Let me know your thoughts, and while you're there, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel because I've got so many game reviews on it, and it's only gonna keep coming. Speaking of coming up next, the review of Quest for Glory, a click-and-point adventure game from 1992, is gonna be next. This game is so special to me, and I can't wait for you guys to hear all my memories and to see why it is such an incredible journey for anyone that loves point-and-click adventure games. That's coming up next. Gamers, thanks for watching, and make sure you play a video game, excuse me, today.